I've seen a lot of people these past couple of weeks, every time I brought up Richardson, say like, below 60% passer. He just doesn't look the part. Very inaccurate. Throws the ball on the ground, stuff like that. Just turn on his film and watch what this guy can do. That's the biggest thing with NFL scouting nowadays. It's not what can't this guy do. It's what can he do? What can he do that is just outright special? And what Anthony Richardson can do is better than anybody else in this class. Again, this is a 6'5", 240, 250-pound quarterback who runs 4.4, can throw the ball a mile, who has improved with his passing every game this season and starting to look the part of a quarterback. And again, this is a redshirt sophomore starting in the SEC. It's not going to look perfect, but I liked a lot of what I saw this season. And I'm not super far off from Emory in saying, this guy could be QB1 or this guy could be a really good quarterback in the NFL. So again, I just want to echo the thoughts of Emory Hunt there and say, like, look, this is a guy that you want to pay attention to come draft time. Anthony Richardson's archetype of the running quarterback that is still developing as a passer. This is hitting constantly. Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson is the biggest one. Justin Fields. I mean, Daniel Jones even. Daniel Jones this year has been a solid starting quarterback. These are quarterbacks that can run and can run well, and they're turning into better passers because that floor that they have as a runner is adding value early on. Where a guy like CJ Stroud, if he goes to the wrong situation, again, this happens everywhere. No matter where these quarterbacks go, if they go to the wrong situation, they're going to fail. But I think there's so many more parameters that Stroud needs to be successful. He can still be successful. I think there's a good quarterback there, and I like CJ Stroud. But I think he just needs so many more things to go right than a player like Anthony Richardson. So that's why, for instance, why I'm going to have Richardson higher than Stroud and why I like Richardson's potential so much. Because again, you're going to get guaranteed production the second he steps on the field. Maybe not in the passing game, but you're going to add so much to your offense just by having that threat of him out there. In the end, I really think Anthony Richardson can be a very good quarterback in the NFL. The mechanics need to get around, but I mean, we're talking about a guy with great pocket presence, great mobility, great arm, really good flashes in college. And I think a guy like Shaneseichen is the type of person that can unlock him and turn him into the quarterback that he can be one day. Not every coach in this cycle can do that. I don't think a Dan Quinn and Brian Schottenheimer can do that for Anthony Richardson. But I think a guy like Shaneseichen is fully equipped to do something like that. It's impossible to not watch this game that we just saw in the Super Bowl and seeing exactly how that Eagles offense was run and how dynamic it was and just how life was easy for a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Even though he was the focal point of the whole offense, it was still easy to make a lot of these open reads because he drew so much attention as an ability as a runner. And then you obviously had the QB sneaks where that kind of quarterback comes in handy. You saw him bailing from pockets and creating plays. You saw QB power creating opportunities on that 2-point conversion, on other short yardage stuff. I think it's impossible to watch this game and not look at Anthony Richardson and say, Shaneseichen can turn him into what he can be, and I know it's going to be impossible for Chris Ballard to make that decision because realistically, Chris Ballard is going to be on the hot seat this year. You can't come out and win 3 games next season and expect to come back yet again. So it's hard to take a quarterback like Anthony Richardson who has some lengths to go. But I think if you're looking long-term and you're looking what Shaneseichen can do with mobile quarterbacks, it's going to be so tempting to take Anthony Richardson. Like, you have to bet on alien traits, I think, when it comes to the NFL. That's how you compete with aliens. You get an alien to compete with an alien. Josh Allen is an alien. Pat Mahomes is an alien. Justin Herbert.
Don't talk too much about aliens right now. There's a lot going on in the alien world right now.
Okay, sorry. Josh Allen is a freak. Pat Mahomes is a freak. These are unreal quarterbacks. You need to have a quarterback with that type of talent to compete with them. Anthony Richardson's the only guy in this class that could potentially be that. I'm not saying it's likely. It's more likely than not that he busts and turns into nothing. But when you have a guy like Shaneseichen who's shown the ability to work with mobile quarterbacks and work with a quarterback who has his deficiencies and can build on them and create a really good game plan around that, I'm tempted, man. I was tempted to take the risk regardless. But like, when you have someone like Steichen, man, I want Anthony Richardson with him. Like, I know it's probably not realistic because of the situation with Chris Ballard and stuff, but like, if we're viewing long-term, I want to take that chance. And I think it's impossible to not watch that Super Bowl here and think of what Anthony Richardson could look like in Shaneseichen's offense. Anthony Richardson in a league full of aliens can be an alien. Like we're talking about, the NFL right now is dominated by these freak show alien quarterbacks. We got Pat Mahomes going to 5 straight AFC championship games, winning 2 Super Bowls, winning 2 MVPs. And I'm not saying Anthony Richardson is Pat Mahomes or he's definitely going to be Pat Mahomes. But when you look at this draft class, which guy could get to that level one day? Yeah. It's the guy who is 245 pounds, runs a 4.4, can jump over 40 inches. And when you watch his, again, I'm not saying just watch his highlights. You have to watch the whole thing, but you can see the glimpses of what he can be. And it's not even like a Josh Allen situation where we had 3 years of what he was in college. We saw 3 years of what Josh Allen was. We've seen 1 season of Anthony Richardson. Who knows if this is just the start for him or if this is what he currently is or what he's always going to be. But this, very well, this could be this. You look at guys like Joe Burrow was under 60% completion percentage his first year in college. Jalen Hurts was way low, was super low his first year. Like, it's so unprecedented to have a guy after his first year declare like this when it wasn't like this super productive year. But if you look at guys, traditionally guys get better after their first season. So, look, I'm not saying this is definitely a guy who's 100% going to be a superstar. But when you look at this draft class and even look at the last couple of draft classes, outside of Trevor Lawrence, this is the guy who's most likely to get to superstar level. He's a guy where when everything's breaking down or the scheme is not right, he can still make those explosive plays for you. And I'm not saying that mobile quarterback's the only way to go, but when you're a guy like Shanesteichen and you thrive on explosives and your whole scheme and everything about you is about the explosive play, a quarterback like Jalen Hurts or just a mobile quarterback in general that can create those out of nothing, a quarterback that can turn a play that's dead to rights in the pocket, a play that's going to be a sack, and they can turn that into an explosive. How do you go back from that? How do you go from what you saw with Jalen Hurts these last 2 seasons and go to a pocket passer or go to an underneath passer? I'm going to posit, again, I think Shaneseichen can work with anybody in this class, and I think he can work with any quarterback that the Colts give him, whether that be a quarterback who runs a 6'6", 40-yard dash and can't move whatsoever. I think he can make it work. But I think he's going to be, again, like a shark that's kind of smelling blood in the water. He sees what his offense can be. He sees exactly what he can do with a guy like Jalen Hurts. And I think he's going to want that again going forward. Great day for us, man. Look, you guys can go back on a lot of our old videos. I did a couple of solo ones where it was just me talking Anthony Richardson, just talking Anthony Richardson on here. We tried to be balanced. We tried to have really candid conversations about each of these top 4 guys, but you guys could tell from our channel here, we were all in on Anthony Richardson. We were pretty all in. I was definitely leading the charge on that, but here at Locked On Colts, here at horseshoehuddle.com, we were very, very much in on Anthony Richardson. And, this isn't us just being excited because the Colts took him and we're going to be excited about whoever the Colts took. Like, this is who at least I really, really wanted. Like, from day one, this is who I wanted. And I am 100% ready to get behind Anthony Richardson and everything that's going to come forward here with him as the Colts franchise quarterback.